Why did the State Department just announce that they're halting visitor visas for all Gazans coming here for medical aid? Why would some of these kids, for example, who are coming to hospitals for treatment be a threat?
Well, first of all, it's not just kids, it's a bunch of adults that are accompanying them. Second, we had outreach from multiple congressional offices asking questions about it. And so we're going to reevaluate how those visas are being granted, not just to the children, but how those visas are being granted to the people who are accompanying them. And by the way, to some of the organizations that are facilitating it. There is evidence been presented to us by numerous congressional offices that some of the organizations bragging about and involved in acquiring these visas have strong links to terrorist groups like Hamas.
Well, that is a complete and utter lie spewed from the mouth of Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who announced that the Trump White House will ban Palestinian children who have been severely injured, wounded, and maimed by our bombs from entering the United States on a visitor visa in order to get desperately needed medical care before they are then forced to leave the United States. Now, the move was also announced on X, with the State Department saying that all visitor visas for individuals from Gaza are being stopped while we conduct a full and thorough review of the process and procedures used to issue a small number of temporary medical humanitarian visas in recent days. And again, just to address Rubio's decision to essentially regurgitate Israel's propaganda. Honestly, their favorite talking point, which is blame everything on Hamas. We had to do it because Hamas, they had ties to Hamas. There is no evidence that any of these humanitarian groups that are facilitating this visitor visa process are tied to terrorist groups. No evidence. If there were evidence, it would be provided, but there hasn't been any. And when he talks about, we've got officials who are showing us that there are links to Hamas, he's talking about freaking Laura Jigsaw Loomer, which we'll get to in just a minute. But according to analysis by NBC News of monthly figures provided on the State Department website, the United States has issued more than 3,800 B1, B2 visitor visas, which permit foreigners to seek medical treatment in the United States, to holders of the Palestinian Authority travel document so far in 2025. In May, 640 visas were issued. The department's numbers do not clarify how many of those visas were given to Gazans and how many people were from the West Bank in Palestine. And in fact, I want to go to this video. Keep our mics up as we watch it, because I want you to see the images of the children who arrived in San Francisco for medical care. These are Palestinian children who have been severely injured as a result of the IDF's actions and as a result of our arming the IDF with the types of bombs that they get to drop on kids, with the types of guns they get to use against innocent civilians. Just let's bring that up and I'll talk over it. Now, the organization that was working on getting these people medical care was an organization called Heal Palestine. It's a group that coordinates evacuations for injured children and their families to the US. They say that they've assisted 148 people so far, among them 63 children in need of urgent care. And so these are the terrorists. Okay, these are the terrorists that Marco Rubio, that disgusting scumbag, is lying about, and who will now be barred from entering the United States for medical treatment before they are then forced to leave. Okay, burned, maimed, amputated limbs. You guys get the picture. We did this. We aided and abetted, okay, what's happening to these children in the West Bank and in Gaza. And now we've shut the door on their faces when they need medical care. Now, why did that happen? Oh, because Laura Loomer said so. A literal unhinged online influencer who's funded by who knows what, who funds her, is so influential in the Trump administration that her evil personality is somehow taken seriously by people in the Trump administration. So they listen to her. I guess the administration has been made to be Laura Loomer's bitch along with Israel's bitch. That's the kind of government leadership that we're looking at right now.
Of course it's not Loomer. Loomer just is representing the wishes of the Israeli government. So they pretend that, oh my God, she is a MAGA influencer. Like 7 people follow her. She's not a huge MAGA influencer. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, etc. These are Steve Bannon, huge MAGA influencers, right? And we don't agree with a lot of their opinions, obviously, right? But Laura Loomer was previously a tiny influencer. All of a sudden, we're supposed to believe that the US government is on their knees to a minor blogger? No, she's giving orders from the Israeli government, and then Marco Rubio and the rest of them run around like dogs going, yes, Loomer, yes, Madam Loomer, we'll do anything Israel says. Who do you need eliminated? Who do you, the children that your government, Israeli government massacred? Great, we're super happy. Do you need another check? Oh, the ones that they named that America, the American people being the wonderful human beings that they are, we're like, okay, let's try to at least help these people, these tiny kids who've been, bombed and maimed by Israel. No, not even little children. Okay, and so that's how the viciously racist, bigoted, disgusting Israeli supporters are.
Yeah.
That they say that even children who have their limbs amputated are terrorists, and that America should show no mercy to them. They should only show mercy and more money and money and money and 300 billion and more to the slaughterers, to the genociders, to the terrorists that run the Israeli government.
Stop the occupation of the United States government by the Israelis. I want people to listen to what Palestinians are going through in the Gaza Strip right now. Because they're all being forced into a concentration camp at the south end of the Gaza Strip. Because of course, the Israelis want to take that land. They're gonna occupy it, they've been clear about it. They wanna push Palestinians, whatever remains of the Palestinian people in Gaza, to Somalia. They're making a deal with Somalia to basically send Palestinians there. And there's one student, a medical student, who left a voicemail to her educator, who's a doctor, after she found out she's going to be displaced in the Gaza Strip yet again. And I want you to listen to this audio because we're doing this. Okay, it's not just Israel, it's the American government aiding and abetting it. This is what we are doing to the people in Gaza. Listen.
Hello, my dear. I'm so sorry. I don't know who to talk with. I just feel so tired. I'm sorry. I just want to talk. Every time I see the news, I feel like my heart just stopped. I can't breathe, and I started crying. I don't want to be displaced again. I just want to die right now. I can't able to lie. I can't able to do more. Everything is getting worse. Our life is truly hell in every sense of the word. I just hate myself for being in Gaza. No one show us mercy. No one feels what we are going through. I just wanted to die right now. I think it's the only way I will find relief. I don't want to be displaced again, maybe. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I wish I could see you soon, even just for a moment, and hug you before I die. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, baby.
So that was a student of Dr. Mimi Sayed's. She left that voicemail for her. And this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing to innocent people. And Laura Loomer loves it, can't get enough of it, but she makes herself out to be the good guy. She's scum and she is an embarrassment to this country, Cenk.
Okay, so we have congressional hearings over the feelings of Jewish students on college campuses. Is it all Jewish students? No, a lot of wonderful Jewish students are in the peace protests. It's only the feelings of pro-Israeli Jewish students who say, yay, genocide is awesome, but okay, but how dare you criticize me? Congressional hearings, right? And we have people who are rightfully shunned, like Nick Fuentes, because he's saying Jews instead of Israel, right? And that conflates the issue. Ironically, his partner in that is Israel and all their supporters. They constantly conflate Jews and Israel, right? We're trying to separate out those two things and say, don't make it about the Jews. That doesn't make sense. Make it about the foreign government of Israel who's taking the actions. Both Fuentes and the establishment and Israel go, no, Jews and Israel are the same thing. So if Israel's doing anything negative, Fuentes says you should hate all the Jews, and the Israeli government agrees. It's the Jews' fault. No, it's not their fault. It's your government action fault. Okay, so now, but I get it. He's shunned, etc. Loomer has said worse things than Fuentes has said about Jews in regards to Muslims, right? Let alone that she says she's a proud white nationalist, which is hateful of almost all of us, right? But the vile things she has said about Muslims is worse than what Fuentes has said about Jews, and she actually has real power. Okay, he can't go on platforms, etc., but Loomer can walk into the White House and go, that person, fired. She got 6 people fired recently. She's more powerful than almost any government official we have. And everyone knows she despises Muslims. So why the hypocrisy? Why isn't anybody doing congressional hearings about it? Why isn't anybody over the top outraged by this person who is clearly racist and bigoted, having enormous power inside the US government?
Because we're an occupied state.
Because we're occupied, that's the reality, okay? And we're not occupied by Jews, we're occupied by Israel. Israeli interests have bought off almost all of our politicians through the PACs. If you're a mainstream media reporter and you're saying that that's not the case, you're a giant liar. And you're choosing to lie on behalf of a foreign government, because AIPAC has donated to 65% of the members of Congress, and that's just one of their lobbies, and that's just money we can see without the dark money being taking into account. #1 donor for almost all of our the Republican and Democratic leaders. So if you're in mainstream media and you're denying that, you're lying to your audience. And it's weird, it's super weird why you want to lie to everyone to pretend that Israel does not have massive influence in America. The influence is suffocating, it's overwhelming. And if you criticize Israel, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble in this country. But if you say the most vicious things about Muslims, and you say we shouldn't even keep Palestinian children alive, we should just send them back to Gaza for Israel to murder them, no problem at all. No big deal, no hearings, no nothing. She just can walk into the White House anytime. No national outrage. So you're telling on yourselves.
Final thing that I'll just add to all of this is more criticism for Israel, because well, there was a piece by CNN published today titled "Leaked Recording Reveals Ex-Israeli Military Intelligence Chief Calling 50,000 Deaths in Gaza Necessary." Seems like there are a lot of public admissions about what Israel's up to, but we still get gaslit about what they're up to. So the leaked audio features the former head of the Israeli military intelligence, Major General Aaron Haliva. And here's what he was quoted as saying in the leaked audio. "For everything that happened on October 7th, for every one person on October 7th, 50 Palestinians must die. It doesn't matter now if they are children." Well, that's obvious, that's clear based on the military's actions. The fact that there are already 50,000 dead in Gaza is necessary and required for future generations. Hey, you know what? I mean, we're making progress. At least there's an admission that at least 50,000 people have been slaughtered in Gaza. This isn't coming from the Hamas-run, health ministry. And then finally, he says, quote, "There is no choice every now and then they need a Nakba in order to feel the price.
This guy sounds very literally like a Nazi. That's exactly what the Nazis would have said about Jewish people.
Hamas made them do it.
Yeah, they need to pay a price. They need to be 50 Jews for every one German forget killed German, hurt the feelings and the national pride of the Germans, okay? So who cares about their children, slaughter their children. So this is what the disgusting current Israeli government is. Bunch of terrorists. Okay, so last thing is, we're doing a petition, God help us. I know. Our petition versus hundreds of millions of dollars from AIPAC. Who are the politicians, the terrible, greasy politicians gonna listen to? The hundreds of millions of dollars are your voices. But we try anyway. We constantly try to do the right thing. And now there's a right-wing rebellion too, and maybe somehow this can work, okay? tyt.com/campaign/refuse-AIPAC. You don't have to memorize that. We'll put the link down below in the description box. It just, all it's doing is saying, I'm never gonna vote for anyone that takes AIPAC money or Israeli interest lobby interest, special interest or lobby money. And that you don't have to vote for the other party. You could vote in your primaries, in your own party's primaries. Just a simple rule, never vote for anyone who takes AIPAC money, because they don't represent us. It's super obvious. You'd have to be as moronic as a mainstream media reporter not to see the most obvious thing in the world. If you take Israeli lobby money, you work for Israel, you don't work for us. So obviously, why would we vote for you to not represent us, but to represent a foreign country, okay? Everyone in America should sign that petition. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.